Okay, so let's dig into content strategy. We'll start off by discussing what content strategy is. Content strategy is more than just making social posts. It should be a deliberate, goal-driven plan, and it should ensure that the content a company shares has a clear purpose, a specific audience, and an outcome in mind that they want to reach with that content. A strong content strategy can help a brand earn trust and visibility. In this case, it's not necessarily about selling, it's about providing value first. And that builds long-term relationships and eventually will drive action. Strategic content marketing can help build trust and authority. It will support SEO and discoverability, and it encourages engagement and loyalty from customers. So those are some of the measurable impacts you'll have from strategic content marketing. Improved SEO, increased site traffic, and direct customer conversions. Now, what goes into a content strategy? Successful strategies include clear goals, like what you want to achieve, well-researched audiences, so you know who you're talking to, what content they need, what questions they're asking, where they would see the content, as well as the types of contents to share. Timing is important as you're going to want to post consistently so that you build some trust with your audience as they expect more content coming from you at a regular interval. Now, when it comes to building for an audience itself, you need to think about your customer personas. A customer persona is a thumbnail sketch of the people who might buy products like the ones you sell. A good persona would include things like demographic data, behavioral patterns, preferences for shopping, as well as their preferences for marketing interaction. Most of you, when you're working for a company, would be able to get this data from your marketing department and start building out personas that way. If they don't have this data, I would encourage you to go in and ask them about creating this data and finding it so you can start understanding who your customers are and what they need. Now, why are customer personas useful? Well, customer personas help us understand our customers. And when we understand our customers, we're able to assemble a more effective content marketing plan. The content marketing plan would include questions that the customer has, trouble that they're having, goals they're trying to achieve. All of the things that your product can help them do should be coming in through your customer personas. It also helps prevent your sites and social media from being overblown with irrelevant content. You don't necessarily want to write articles about stuff that isn't relevant to your audience and rank for that. That's a waste of your effort. You do customer personas help you develop that relevant content and they engage your audience. So when you have that content that's developed for certain personas, the audience will be more engaged. They're going to be more likely to read and share your content with others and eventually start responding to your content in the terms of reaching out for inquiries or making purchases. So here's an example persona template that you would want to fill out. And we can go step by step, and you can look at these and find plenty of other examples that you can go through on these templates. First off, to the left here, a lot of people will name and give their persona an image, and then they'll have a quote that says something about the persona's personality. Then they get into the demographic information, things like age, what they do for work, their family life, where they're located, some sort of personality assessment. Then they start getting into goals. Goals like things that make the customer happy or something that they hope to achieve, something they're trying to accomplish, or an experience that they're looking to have. In addition to goals, your persona should include frustrations that they're trying to avoid, or obstacles that prevent them from achieving their goals, problems with solutions that are already available, and things like that. Then you're going to look at motivations, what motivates this persona. And again, these are overall summaries of multiple customers. It's sort of like a composite of all your customers. And you might have multiple personas to represent different types of customers. So that's something to be said. An example might be someone who's selling houses, right? A realtor, they might have a persona that represents first-time homeowners, some persona that represents people who are selling their first home and moving to upgrading to new housing, or somebody who's selling their home and looking to like retirement plans and moving to a different like 55 plus community. Those could be three different types of personas that all have different goals, different frustrations, and different motivations. Again, then you would look at like preferred channels for those different personas. How do they want to interact with you from a marketing perspective? And you could put this all together in the bottom. You see in that little gray box, you put together this information into a bio where you have a little solid understanding and story about who your customers are.